Testing. Testing. Okay, let's get this up, this up, this up, this up, and let's head back in. World currently full. Players in queue 18. A lot of people. Gridania. I want to check some stuff real quick before I just... Okay, never mind. Not. Mindless silence, your rival must anticipate the appearance of the primals ever calls for alarm and unease. More qualified than you sniff out this threat. Indeed, I wish this here, however, would speak with you first. Of the opinion that your diplomatic, rather martial skills may better serve our cause, I will lead further explanation to our own leader. To alter the conjurer's attendance will admit you to Lotus Stand. I'm just gonna sprint. Alright, man, I'm actually in.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramu is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramu is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelve's Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelve's Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramu himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelve's Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Go Guild 11. I have a science, I was told to expect you. Well, I have no doubt you're well suited. I ascertain the location of the Warlord and Levin might be found. I'll ask that you bide here until they return with their finding. Shouldn't be much longer. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location of the touch one's Lord Ramu. Your father friend, might you be so kind as to escort this good woman to her fellow scions? As you're walking on, please go with me this one. venture deep in the Sylphlands, these ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for touched ones. I'm just gonna fly above you. This looks cool. Most story, but this one go no further, draw too close a little, and this one may turn mean and nasty like touch others. Say farewell for now, walking one, find wild ones not far here to the south, going safety, walking one. There we go. I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded self-tricksters. With them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Though I show his face when one person he used suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Pablimo. My apologies. Not maybe Rainbow so. Saying, I've finished measuring etheric activity area, and I'm pleased they have reached an indisputable conclusion that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetherite. Lord of Levin awaits. Oh, hi there. Sorry, come in my car bomb. Being that my headphones is not working right now. Oh, my headphones are now suddenly working again. No, nope. Okay, I gotta try to reset. Go.
Nora betrays thee, servant of hiding.
That's a big old beard.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
Words.
The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed, or light and dark given form when man was born. It would explain much, not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Okay, let us go fight Ramu. A striking tree, hard, now accessible. Not gonna fight me since I have speech. Are you? Okay. Striking tree, hard. Well, I have no clue what it's gonna entail. 7 minutes wait time. rid of some of these. I don't know how much I'm going to use the dyes. At least right now, I don't know how useful it is to keep some of these. Wait to quickly sort these items. Here we go. It's gonna be a few minutes before we can get a party for this. I was hoping you would. Go. Bye bye. No, next part. defense. Come on, DPS. Okay, let's go. Oh, hi. Damn it already. Alright, need to charge. Oh, my first thing off the field. Hi, I'm being targeted. What do I do? Uh-oh. everyone leave already? You didn't give accommodations.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, the truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Assyrians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Let's go back. Have Ramu received your visit? Because arms big as well, then he has some experience in such matters. But Granada and Little Sons will be relieved here. The Lord of Levin expects you as your force champions of peace. Now their seats here must be informed of your deeds at once. Just need to talk to you again. Yeah, head back to Gridania. Returning elevator awaits you within.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramu made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Emo! And another daunting mission, eh, Mana? I hope Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness in which you responded to the primal sudden challenge. Seems Oranger too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Mana? Shall we head back to Rising Stone and ponder the lessons of the day? Let's go. Let's go. Welcome back, Mana. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I ain't shared news of my own, but your random discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord 11, our learned companion, struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Symbol and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moment moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits, should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection,
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Asian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Ooh. This looks cool. The Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as was the Leviathan before him. Namu's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whorl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man. Hydaline's servant grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wane. And even as it ineverates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted to forge the final key. And that is a task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds wherever wont to quicken in Eorz's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by the eager hands shall new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew. The one true God shall come again. No matter Ramu has for the present been put to rest, there is something I will show you, Mana. Everything signed by the leader of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the silence, tireless service to the realm. Mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King, Moogle, Wog, 12, Leviathan, and now Ramu. Only one among our numbers to have faced them all. Without these words of gratitude were addressed to our Aura as a whole, I feel that they are meant for you above all others. To offer my heartfelt thanks for all you have done in the course of your duties. Never once failed to answer. You have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You're a true hero, Mana, and Orzia is that much safer for your presence. Ray, do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Askians may be relied upon to sow chaos in the realm until such times as they are forced to stop. Even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man will foment strife on his own. Say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we live to live in harmony, the primals too will turn us to plague us again and again and again. Despite all this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow. There's no greater gift. We have the courage to strive for what others seem an impossible peace, and we owe in no small parts to the danger you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to the cause in doing. Our list of enemies have ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. The Sylphs of Little Solace who wish not of conflict. The Alamegans and the Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And there are the many unsung individuals who have gathered here in Revenant's Toll, honest men and women who seek to employ their skills for the good of all. Of course, when speaking of greatest allies, we must forget those close to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Askians, and combat we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly a heartwarming, antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust not inconvenience you to unduly if I absent myself for a time. Afanad, I take it troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention. Some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. Just report such that I stand before you now. That and to speak with you concerning the organization, the new organization we discussed. And I have a message to you from you recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. I understand you made an effort to remember the poor girl's name. Look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Afanaz is Sundari, isn't he? Money, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. I suggest you put the affairs of the realm aside for a moment and take the opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town. One of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him a visit? She's back from her adventures. Fighting primals, they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. We all want to be heroes too, so we formed our own Doman Adventures group to protect all of Domans. Can you show us how you fought the primals? What's with all the commotion then? Mr. Boulder and Miss Colton. Do you know Miss Mana is back? Welcome home, Mana. My companions and I recently became full members of Science, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I'm known as Ulrich Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltonet. Though we remain largely improved as adventurers, we take it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the art of combat. We're not younglings anymore, we are adventurers. Just asking Mana if she can give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? Certain diligent with their drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are ever so slightly too dangerous for you. A counter proposal: what if I were to cross swords with Mana? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Alright, if I didn't know better, and I do, I'd say you're merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, perhaps I am. Matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lessons. What say you, Mana? Would you consent to spar with me? Tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. Do try not to disappoint them. Have faith. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. East Town should be suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Woo! Let's go! Trust you already began? Let's not keep the youngest waiting any longer. Are you certain you wish to fight her alone? That is Mana you face. But a way to test my mettle. Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. Well, it was this hero's legend that let me join this time to begin with. Without Mana to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. However, this is for children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. You haven't begun yet, have you? Oh, a few of the other Scions are here. Ida, who are all these people? Oh, nope. Oh? I didn't know this was a thing. I did know, but I didn't know how to activate it. Okay. About your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use your crowd to cheer you on. And there was still more to come. When I mentioned Mana's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. The Boulder shall show you a lesson in pain. We shall soon see. The Boulder suggests you be on your guard. Oh. You're done already. Oh yeah, it can't be. Children have the right of it. My children feet on your feet already. Mr. Boulder. I could. You have bet me. I yield. The Boulder yields. Terrible, she knew it both at the same time. With mana, none can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. See, they send deal with Primal. If much to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. As always, Mana, it's ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. Judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? It was in the memorial service of the Battle of Carteneau. Time I was attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. Shall speak plainly, my initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abound, and yet the effort I saw to expend towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear their allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The legatist's single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. It was you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. It was you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery. That's why my grandsire sought to preserve the land was not the land, nor its history, or any single nation. It was the people, those wonderful, infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to the feet to face another day. Though he never put such feeling to words, I believe grandfather's admiration for his inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The trouble that plagues us are a scale that cannot be solved by scions of the Seventh Dawn alone. Now, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascan is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. The boulder. Well, until death, I will have her charge the lessons of each scrape and bruise and work to better my swordplay. Idea foolish at first, but seeing the sparring match will serve its purpose. While I can hardly wait to return to my studies and seek to improve my technique. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. It propose the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for truly united Eorzea. Do not know what these do, but let's go with. Trade over old ground, but I will first speak with the Grand Plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of 3 nations have been deliberating over a core that seeks to bring the spirit forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will, the military might of such an institution will be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against a threat that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet, while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus, I've been campaigning for the creation of what may be considered a trial company, on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable in the same manner of unrestricted operations according to the science. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to lagging deliberations. Also, being primarily a military outfit, I mean to assuage the fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Science will work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugees' revolts, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under Science Command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Science are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward establishing this precursor to the true border and spanning the Grand Company, it is necessary that I visit the 3 leaders and gain their official approval. Tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I'll ask you to accompany on this journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. It is reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. First destination will be Limsa Lumensa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. I'm just gonna okay, I think I am going to stop here for the day, and I will stream whenever. I will see you all again soon. Take care. Goodbye.